So, what else can we do with the toolbox? We're just checking how to quantize clips. Now let's check some of the pitch options to transpose. Let's select the strings. And I'm going to transpose these strings an octave down, minus 12 semitones or minus 12 keys. So minus 12, this is my selection, apply. Let's hear those strings. The toolbox is an easy way to transpose big chunks of data. If I wanted just to move one or two particular notes, instead of using the toolbox, I would have switched to my edit mode, grab the notes, and move them individually. But remember, the toolbox is great to work with clips, and bigger selection do more structural types of change. So yeah, we can transpose the pitch of any given selection by semitones. In this case it was an octave, but you can change this to any value that you prefer. We can also randomize the pitches of a selection, the pitches of a series of notes. For that, let's focus on the bass. That's a more convenient type of line for us to hear the pitch randomization. I'm going to select this bass clip and solo the bass track, so we can focus just on that. Okay, we have a nice, easy bass line with only 3 notes. Now let's see what happens if we randomize. We're going to randomize the pitch. These low and high settings are going to establish the boundaries of the pitches that you're going to be randomizing. Meaning that no matter what's the randomization, in this case, pitches now are going to go lower than C1, that's pretty low, or G2. Let's randomize them from G1 to C3. Let's see what happens. Apply. I'm going to apply the randomization only to this selected clip. Let's listen back. Okay, it doesn't sound pretty. I'm going to undo that. But it's a technique that can be very useful, especially when you're dealing with non-pitch sounds. For example, let's see what happens if I apply this pitch randomization to my hi-hat clip. I'm just going to change the settings here. A low note is going to be C1, high note is going to be C2. In this case, I'm using lower values here because I know that the redrum, the instrument that is playing these clips, only has 10 sounds in the lower octaves. So if I go much higher than that, basically we won't hear anything. Okay, let's apply this to the hi-hat clip. And listen back. Solo my drums. On my hi-hat, where I was playing only 2 notes, now those 2 notes have been randomized vertically, not horizontally, pitch-wise, not time-wise, in another series of notes. So it's again another way of generating material. Rsn does have quite a few features about randomization that you want to take advantage of. Let's undo this, go back to more or less the original that we had. And now let's focus on velocity. Velocity, as you might know, is a MIDI message that it's measuring how hard or how soft you are playing the keys of your MIDI controller. Velocity 90% of the times is associated with volume or intensity. So here in this note velocity section, you can modify the velocity. Let's focus on the hi-hats again. We can add or subtract a fixed value. For example, now I'm going to add 40 velocity points to this clip, so you're going to hear the hi-hat sounding pretty loud. Let's try that. Apply, play back. On the fly, I'm going to apply negative value. So with this add field here, you enter a positive or negative value and you add or subtract velocity points. Fixed, it means that you will give to all of the selected notes the same velocity. So I want the velocity of all those hi-hats to be at 100. Remember, velocity is measured in MIDI numbers. That goes from 0 to 127 being the maximum. Scale is going to increase or decrease all of the velocities proportionally. In this case, since I have a fixed velocity of 100, it's going to be just like I'm adding or subtracting velocity points. And then we have random. It's very interesting. We're going to randomize the velocities in an 80%. So some of them are going to sound soft, some others are going to sound with more intensity, and we might come up with some cool unexpected accents on the hi-hat. So let's try that. Random velocity. So these are the velocity functions on the tool window.